I know when you first bought it, solar panels seemed like an awesome thing to do. Man, it's going to save me money, it's environmental friendly, all the above. And yes, technically it is. But when you have those solar panels on the roof and it comes time to sell that house, there's a lot of things that I'm finding that homeowners have no clue about. Some of them think that the panels on the roof are absolutely free and they never have to pay for them. Others think that it's going to jack up the appraisal price on their house and they've got a better house to sell. Well, today I am going to tell you the real story, the down and the dirty of what it's going to take to sell your house in Port St. Lucie, Florida, if it has solar panels. Stick to the very end and I will tell you and give you my playbook for selling your home with solar panels. My name is Jonathan B.J. Hayes, local realtor here in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for returning back to the home of Port St. Lucie Real Estate. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like the videos, and tell a friend about the wonderful things going on here in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. If you are looking to sell or buy a home here in Port St. Lucie, all my information is in the description below. You can call or text me for your free one-on-one private consultation. So guys, I'm starting to come across every day. All you got to do is drive up the street. You see more and more people with solar panels on the roof. But it gets a little complicated when you get ready to sell that home. Let me give you an example. Let's say if you have a home and we want to sell it for $400,000. All right. We're selling it for $400,000, but you've got these solar panels on the roof. There's two things that can happen. Most people don't pay these panels off when they're installed. Some of you have leases, others of you have finance deals for these panels. Here's number one. It doesn't matter if it's leased or financed. Lenders are going to look at your buyer and say, hey, are they paying off those panels beforehand? Because if not, they are going to have to add that to the loan process. So get this, you're selling your house for $400,000, but you've got a lease for those solar panels on the roof or a finance deal that's $40,000. Well, if you're selling a house for $400,000 and the person has to assume that $40,000, guess what? They need to be approved for $440,000. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer who is coming, they no longer qualify. Yeah. Did you know that? I'm finding that most people don't. Number two, when the house is appraised, you never actually get the value of those panels. So, and I know these solar companies are a little tricky. I run into people every day that have these leases that put no money down on these panels. So they think these things are free. They're just paying, $168 a month, and each year it goes up. That's cool and fine and dandy. But when you get ready to sell, there's a UCC loan that needs to be satisfied in order for the title company to give clear title to the new owner. When the appraiser comes and does that appraisal, that $40,000 that you're paying for the system, there is no way in the appraisal process that they can give you that value. I've talked to appraisers, I've been there on appraisals, and they're all saying here in Port St. Lucie that the best they can do is like a $5,000 credit. So they'll bump up things in your kitchen, but you never see that value for those panels. You just don't. Number 3, what ends up happening is the person may want the house, but they say, I'll pay full price for the house, but I'm not assuming that lease for the panels. And I know we all do, hey, it's only $163 a month. Trust me, we do our absolute best to get buyers to just assume it. I got to tell you, 75% of the time, buyers say no. Either you pay off the lease or the finance portion, or we'll go find another house. Now, I know that may not be what you want to hear, Mr. Seller, but it is real talk. You pay it off or I walk. So number 4, what options do solar owners truly have? Here you go. Now, as you know, the market is already changing here in Port St. Lucie. You can either say, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to wait for the perfect buyer to come in, say, I will assume that solar lease and pay the price for the house. Or you can cave, pay it off, and move on with your life. Number 5. Here's what I would call the best practice. So what I tell all my solar sellers is this. I am going to do my absolute very best to get a buyer to pay our asking price and assume the panels. But just know, it may be a situation where they don't want to. And a decision will be yours if we pay them off or we wait for another buyer. Next, the best thing to do is this. If you've got a $40,000 solar lease or payment that needs to be assumed, and you know that house is worth on the open market $400,000, price it under value. Take that house, list it for $390, and say, hey, price is $390, it's undervalued, you are going to have to assume the solar portion though. And that's your best way to go at it. I know it's a situation that you may not want to hear, but as you know, everything here is real talk. I will tell you, for me personally, it's been 1 out of 4 that'll say, yeah, I will assume it and pay your full price. Here's the deal. Currently, right now, as we speak, the good part, most of you have crazy equity still in these houses. So if you do have to eat that, whatever that solar lease is, it's at least you still have equity of 65, 75, 100,000, whatever it is, you're still on that positive side. I made this video because a lot of people don't know this. And there's not a whole lot of realtors that know how to deal with these solar companies. They're not the easiest to deal with. There's a lot of rhetoric and jump around to do between the lenders and the actual solar company. And the thing is, like I stated in the beginning, a lot of people think these panels are free. They are not. If any of you have questions about selling your house with solar panels, all my information is in the description below. You can call or text me directly, and we can talk about your current situation in the best way to sell your house for top dollar and keep the most amount of money in your pocket. My name is Jonathan B.J. Hayes. Until the next time we speak, everybody stay safe, be blessed.